What's up, guys? Mike here with the Internet Scholars giving you his fresh takes on the Han Solo, Solo, a Star Wars film, the Han Solo spinoff for the Star Wars franchise. How fresh! I literally just got finished watching it from the theater and came back here and recording it right now. So by the time it gets uploaded, this will be like 3 hours of me seeing the movie, since I literally went at 12 to see it today. I don't know when it's going to be up. That's all the Internet's problem. But Star Wars, love it. It's been part of my life forever. Enjoyed parts of the prequels. I defended Episode 3 for a while after rewatching it. Not sure if I really would defend it. Really loved the new Star Wars. Loved Force Awakens. Loved Rogue One. And I adore parts of Last Jedi. I still really like it, but there's also parts I didn't like. And I wasn't really hyped for this movie for a long time. But Solo, I was like, I don't really care who Han Solo was before he was Han Solo. You kind of get who Han Solo was in just those first couple scenes in A New Hope that he's in. So the first trailers come out, and I'm not really feeling it. And then this last trailer came out, the one before here. I was like, no, I'm actually hyped for it. So these last couple months I've been hyped, and this movie has lived up to the hype for me that was just building for the past couple months. But I'm very surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie for what it was. I mean, it's not a bigger, important movie to Star Wars. Like, Rogue One was a spin-off, but it directly sets up A New Hope. This doesn't really set up anything else in the Star Wars universe to a possible sequel to the Han Solo movie, which, after seeing this movie, yeah, I want to see more stories with Alden Ehrenreich, I can never pronounce his name, Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando, and other characters that were introduced in this film. Where before I was like, okay, one Han Solo spinoff, not that big of a deal. But I'm also one of the guys that was fine with, like, hey, let's make that Obi-Wan movie, make that Yoda movie, because even though they're smaller stories, they're not making the universe smaller. These small stories, I think, enrich the universe. This really helps, like, dig into kind of like the underground of what the Star Wars universe was in between the Episode 3, which is the Revenge of the Sith, and A New Hope. And it does a great job at doing that, giving us that underbelly, and kind of really building these characters we already loved before. I mean, Han Solo, obviously, to make a movie about him, you have to make him more of a good guy than he appeared he was at the start of A New Hope. But the events of this movie kind of show, okay, this is kind of how he kind of became that jadedness that he was, but also lead to the person that he would become in later Star Wars movies. So it was very believable. And I think Alden did a great job of, he wasn't doing a Harrison Ford impression, I think is the best thing. So he was being his own version of Han Solo that was still the Han that we would eventually get to know. I think he did great. Childish Gambino is playing the Lando that we know in the future, but we kind of see how his relationship with Han is built. We also see how Chewie learns to trust Han in this movie, and I think Chewie is awesome because Chewie's just Chewie. He's big, he's strong, he does things in this movie that kind of explain more of his backstory and how he's here. I think Chewie is also used great. And the new characters, Paul Bettany's Voss, I mean, he's dangerous and scary, and you would believe that, oh, if we do the wrong thing, he will kill us. I think while there's not necessarily a overarching villain to this movie, it's more like it's more of a heist film in the beginnings, kind of like a mix between an Ocean's movie and a Fast and the Furious movie mixed with Star Wars, which doesn't sound like it would work, but it does work strangely. But he is the overarching villain, if there is one. Woody Harrelson's character, Beckett, I think is a really cool mentor-ish type character. He's kind of like an Obi-Wan mentor, where he meets him in the course of this movie, and we just get to see all his experience with his characters up until the end of the movie. Much more of an Obi-Wan character, and I think Woody Harrelson does a great job playing a kind of shady Woody Harrelson character, and I think he was great for this role. Emilia Clarke's character, I think, is awesome, and her relationship with Han, where you're like, no, Han's meant to be with Leia. It doesn't interfere with the character as we knew him at the end due to events in this film, but you can kind of get how their relationship kind of affects Han in the future. And yeah, they could have done something with Emilia Clarke's character, Kara, something like that. That I think would have been a really cool twist that would like really set up how Han became the Han we know. They did something that was slightly different that I didn't suspect. I mean, a source suspected it at a different point in the movie. But at the end, I thought, oh man, if they do this, that'll be cool. They didn't, but what they did was still pretty cool. And the action in this movie, I think, really cool. Han shoots first when giving the opportunity a couple times. We get introduced to a bunch of other side characters that frankly don't have that much impact, but kind of impact the world of the underworld. The Sabacc scene, I think, is very well done. Obviously famous from Han Solo's lore in the past. Yeah, it really kind of fleshes out these characters in a way that doesn't detract from their arcs in the future movies, but also keeping the story small, but building up the smallness of the world. Like, not everything needs to be this intergalactic war that literally every other Star Wars movie has been. Everything's been big scale, big budget. And I'm not saying this isn't big budget, but I'm saying it is a smaller story, very character focused in the best way. I think I might like this more than Last Jedi in some aspects. I like it more than Rogue One, so it's somewhere in between that. Not really sure exactly. I still better than the prequels, just to rank it on Star Wars. But I really want to see more of not just the Han Solo movies, but smaller scale Star Wars stories that I think will work very well. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Solid 8 out of 10. Am I doing rankings on these? I don't know. I don't really know the rules for this channel when it comes to ranking. Still gonna do my Deadpool review and whatnot, but yeah, really enjoy this movie. The comedy also done extremely well, to where it's not forced and it feels very Star Wars. One of the problems with Last Jedi is a lot of the comedy felt forced. This did not. All the comedy felt natural and in character, and yeah, I love the criminal aspect, the criminal world of Star Wars that we really haven't delved into a lot, besides in that original trilogy and in stuff such as the Clone Wars and Rebels, which I think at certain times delve into the underground. There is a couple hints at characters from Han Solo's lore in the past. There's a blatant cameo that I think is awesome, but might break the Star Wars timeline if Rebels and everything's canon. I'm not 100% sure. I need to dive into that. But yeah, I enjoy this movie. Go see it. Let me know down below what you thought of it. I thought it was a really good time. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's unnecessary. It's a movie. Every movie's unnecessary for the most part. And I think this is it's Star Wars, but different at the same time. It feels like it's own arc. Like the problem with Rogue One, though I love Rogue One, it was like, okay, we know where these characters need to end up, but even though this is a prequel to Han Solo, most of the characters, besides the few that we know have to live into the next film, anything can happen to them. They could live, they could die, and the way it impacts our characters can be completely different, because we are years separated from where they wind up, and that we know where Lando, Han, and Chewie all wind up at the end. How they get there isn't as explained. That's not the word I want to say. It's not as obvious where we don't need these movies, and I enjoyed it. I hope you do too. Let me know what spin-offs you're looking forward to next. We know there's going to be a Boba Fett one is confirmed now. The Obi-Wan film is going to be awesome. It's eventually going to come, and eventually, please give me that Old Republic film, that series, that just anything. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Check out the Internet Scholars' new videos every Wednesday and Friday if we're consistent, and podcast on Monday. Like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time.